Okay. Okay, everyone, welcome to our 14th anniversary of IWS Globe and another edition of our IWS Canada World Watercolour Day. So last year we had it in Mississauga. We had a lovely event out there, and so we decided to bring it over to Toronto this time as we have many local members, many of you in attendance. Thank you for coming. We have some nice coffee and snacks down there. Please help yourself at any time. We have some set up here for anybody who wants to paint along. You're welcome to paint. There's also some more paper here if you want to try again. There's some images of the demo that we're doing of this mountain scene, snowy mountain scene, which is appropriate for this time of year. And we have Bill Costigan over here, and Kumar, representing Mississauga Watercolour Society. We have Larry Kavanaugh over here as our TWS, and Doug Gildart as our TWS representatives. So if you're in the Toronto or Mississauga area, these are our local representatives for these respective groups. So please speak to them if you'd like to find out more if you live in those districts. IWS Canada is sort of an overarching group which represents people from all across Canada, watercolor painters from all levels, from beginner to pro. We have vast range of skills and people in our society, and it keeps growing and growing. And it's a wonderful society to be part of because we just encourage people to become the best painters they can be. And it's not restrictive, it's not exclusive. It's about fostering the love of watercolor and growing the membership, growing their skills, and just spreading watercolor across Canada and the globe through the other IWS chapters all across the world. So I'm going to be doing a demo very shortly. Our timetable for today is first I'm going to have a demo. This will last maybe 45 minutes or so. We have the contest we had online. We had our magazine, IWS Canada Quarterly Magazine. People submitted their work to it, and we're going to vote on our favorite painting. So anybody who's tuning into this meeting can vote on their favorite painting, and the winner will receive a lovely prize, a smart supplies from IWS Canada. And from there on, we have John Campbell joining us later to play piano to tune us out of the day. And there's a bit while we had a fun wine from all the art. Until then, we have also check-ins with our other representatives, Roberta Luchinski in the Prairie region. We have Tati and Marcia in Accra, DC in Montreal. And later on, we'll have Chris Ostenstad, who will take over the feed and continue it for those in the West Coast. We also have online demos that will be running just video only from Milena Guberinic and Lorraine Simonds. So yeah, we have a full slate of events. So I'll keep on admitting new joiners here. And I've got to get this camera set up here. IWS Canada camera, that's giving some issue with their Zoom. And that will, 1 sec. Start the video. This will be where I'll be painting from. So it seems to be on auto Zoom. I'm not sure quite how to turn that off. So I'll show you the demo image and you can paint along. I'm going to put down the microphone now. So now we'll begin the demo part of the day. I'll show an image here. Now this is based on a demo I did last year around this time. So some people attended have already taken that. But it's going to be a very basic skill building exercise. I have the black and white image so you can see the contrast more than anything else. It's very important to recognize the contrast in the painting and the composition before you begin, because that's what you're going to base your palette on. The colors should be a an afterthought compared to the contrast. Contrast really going to make or break your painting. I'm just going to put this mic down so I can focus more on the work at hand. Okay, so starting with this, I'm going to mute this. I'm getting an echo here. Okay, there we go. Okay, starting with this composition, this is just something I found on the internet that reflected a decent composition with which to create a demo with. So using rule of thirds, we have our focal point over here, lower right-hand side of the painting. We have nice lines leading to our focal points, some nice perspective going on, a lot of nice contrast with the sharpest contrast in the building itself. So this is definitely going to be our focal point. And it's a winter theme, so it bodes well for this time of year when it's very, very cold, especially today, and getting colder. Now, it won't be a bright and vibrant piece because, as we know, in the winter, we don't get quite so many contrasts, but we will have lots of blues. You can see that this was the previous. For some reason, my camera is zooming in. Yeah, do you want to do that?
Yeah.
We're down here. Settings?
Yeah.
Oh, it's over here. Okay, here we go. Auto framing. There we go. Great. Okay. Excellent. Thank you very much. What's your name, by the way?
Sandra.
Sandra. Right. Oh, you came from Mississauga, right? Okay, that's another one. Okay. Welcome, Sandra. Thank you. Okay, so this is one. This one I did last night in preparation. Here's one I did last year. This is a bit more bright and colorful. This is a bit more toned down. So using this is rough paper. So it leads the water a bit differently than say a hot press or a cold press. It's a rough grain. So you'll be able to create more natural textures in the paper when you paint, when we have the wash going. So let me get the blank piece of paper and I'm going to start this again. So never mind the little spill, that doesn't matter because we're going to have lots of stuff going on in this painting. Now, ideally, I should have this on a board and I should take this down, but it's a bit busy here, so I don't really have the room for that. Now, I'm painting on a butcher's tray. It's a very nice, sleek surface to paint on if you're using liquid paint. You know, I also have this as my travel palette. This dries up, so you have to reconstitute it with a bit of water and get it running again. But it's nice when you have a big, nice. If you're working at home to have a nice big area to mix your colors on. It's very, very handy. Also, if you're using bigger brushes, it's nice to get the brushes in that larger space. So start with the biggest brushes you have. This is where you want to lay down your overall color tones. So I'm going to use, I've got a Rockwell Pyroline Green and a Rockwell Sepia that are going to be two of the main okay, I just lost my zoom. There we go. Okay, welcome, Gail. I've got a bit already here. I'll show you what I'm using. So it looks very messy, very as if you get a lot of mud in there. But if you keep your colors in certain zones, it makes it very easy to mix them together. If you really need a purer color, you can always add a bit more to it. Like I'll probably need a bit of blue. I'm going to get a bit of this. Again, I've got a Rockwell sky blue here, which I quite like. And this is some core teal. Throw that in there. And it's got a bit of this is core as well. This is nickel yellow, I think it's called. So I'm going to start by doing a very quick sketch of the composition.
Yeah, but how do you get?
He's going to start.
Okay.
But wait.
So start. Here's my thirds here. So this is where I want my focus to be. So I'm just thinking of shapes here. Think of a block. Think of a cube. Think of the perspective. Your perspective's over here. So this is where your lines are going to intersect. I don't want to draw too heavy. Keep it loose, because we don't want a lot of heavy lines on the paper when we're painting. Just kind of indications. We have some trees over here. We have our pathway going through here, which also coincides with our vanishing point. So here's the vanishing point. Some grass over here, which will lead the eye to the cabin. And some trees over here. And our mountains that will diminish towards the cabin. Maybe I'll...
Yes. Do you want to see the participants or?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I'm going to do that now. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so here's our pencil drawing. Yes, I'm glad we have a Zoom expert in there. Well, a lot more expertise than me. Okay, so there's our focal point. Here's our pathway. Maybe someone's been skiing down there, tobogganing, or not tobogganing. What do you call it? Snowmobiling. Snowmobiling, there's some tracks, there's some light indication. And this will bring the eye around to the cabin as well. So we have the mountains that bring your eye down. This mountain brings the eye down. There's some trees here that'll kind of lead the eye towards here. And this will be our sort of glowing bright focal area. And then we'll have some grass over here. That's why this doesn't matter that it's got some paint on it, because it's going to be included in the rest of the painting. Okay, so now the moment of truth. Staring at this blank piece of paper, you know, it can be kind of scary sometimes, because with watercolor, it's not like with acrylic or oils, you can't really go back and redo things like you can with those. So you're kind of all in. So I have two brushes to choose from here. Okay. One brush to choose from, because that's disappeared. So, oh, here it is. Okay, so which brush to use? I think in this case, I'm going to start with this and go with this because this, you see the bristles are very,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna change your image. Your image is reversed.
oh,
So if.
so that's distracting.
Sorry.
Do you know how to do that? Okay. No, thank you. Settings?
Yeah.
Where would that be? Appearance?
Yes. Then if you scroll down, it should say reverse my image. Okay, I'm with that.
I don't want to turn myself into a cat here. Do you see it? Maybe it's on video. Mirror, maybe?
Yes.
Aha, there we go. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so once again, I've got two big brushes here. Again, I want to start off your painting. You don't want to start your painting with a little tiny brush. So what tends to happen when you have a little tiny brush is you don't have a unity of texture or color across the whole thing. You go in and often you'll use different colors and you'll get kind of a mishmash of all sorts of things. Now, it is possible to do that if you do it right, but usually in such a landscape like this, you want to have an overall color palette that you set down on the paper once you start. So we're going to start with a bit of blue at the top, bit of blue at the bottom. We're going to have some warm colors in here around the cabin, and then we're going to have some darker greens and sepia tones for the foliage in the back. So I will start with this big mop brush here. And let's see, gonna get water nice. I'm not gonna cover the whole thing, so I want to have some areas that are just dry paper here. I'm gonna get a bit of this blue. And lightly paint it over the mountains a bit as well. Lightly. This will create our background. Now, as I go down, I'm going to mix in a bit of the sepia. Our background. And that's going to intermix I'm going to mix in a bit of sepia. That's going to intermix with our mountain. A bit more because we want to dull the tone. Take away a little bit of this bright blue color. And a little bit of magenta just to balance things out. A little bit of magenta just to balance things out. Now you notice with rough paper, it spreads a lot faster. A lot more texture as well. It's a bit more wild to work with. So just got to keep that in mind. I'm just going to imagine there's some mountains back here as well. Always use your finger to push things around a bit. Yeah, but if it's a bit too much. Okay, now as I move down, I think I'll switch to this very large flat brush. Always use your finger to push things around a bit. Yeah, but if it's a bit too much. And I'm going to start getting. Okay, now as I move down, I think I'll switch to, and I'm going to start getting colors in because it's going to match over here to our cabin. So what I'm going for here is different levels of color. So I want to balance any color I use, I have to balance it somewhere else. This is getting a bit too out of control here. And grab some of that. Chisel out these mountains a bit more.
No, I, I'm painting that. I'm just watching that.
The nice thing with the flat brush is you can use the corner. It can be very sharp as well. Go back to this though for the last little bit. Last little bit, I'm going to go back to the blue, as I stated before. And if your color ever gets too green, if it's getting too green, just grab some magenta. Magenta is the green killer. You don't want to have your skies to be green. And if you're going too far the other way, you want to get a bit more gray, just grab the magenta, and that'll push you back in the other direction. So there, just a nice gray. And here. Get a little bit more blue because we're going to have the snow. So I'm getting a bit of it's a bit too much blue, but green again. Okay. So you always got to be careful with your blues. They can get easily contaminated into green. So again, grab that magenta. I'm out of magenta here, so I gotta grab some more. But I'm keeping a very limited palette because the more limited, especially with this kind of subject matter, you want to have a limited palette to focus on the contrast, not on the colors. It's not a colorful theme. Being winter, you can have colorful winter themes if it's very sunny out. Get some nice bright blues in there, but in this case, we're going for a more muted look. Okay, I'm gonna fill that blue there. Now you do have a bit of time between drying, so watercolor is not always, full of angst and impatience to cover the area because you do have a bit of time. So see, I'm balancing all the colors from one side to the other. Now, one great thing with rough paper is you can use a nice dry brush. See all the texture you get there? That's something unique to rough paper that can really get that going. Okay, so now I'm going to let it dry a little. Then I'm going to do another layer that will add the texture of the mountains. And we'll add some grass down here. Oh, 2 people in the waiting room. It's my waiting room. You know how to get to my waiting room? Ah, here we go. Here? Oh, there it is. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so for those just joining us, we are now just waiting for it to dry. I'm going to add a little bit more texture into our little hut here in the meantime. I grab a bit more orange. Make use of the wet So as long as it's wet, it's going to blend on its own a little. You want to try and get to blend on its own as much as possible. And see, it means less work for you. So this side will be the darker side. It's different than my previous versions, but let's try it this way instead. It's nice with the big brush. It can be a bit harder to control, but you can get more natural brush strokes the bigger brush you use. It just takes some practice. But in the end, I think it's worth it because it looks more natural. You can get in there with a small brush and spend hours and hours twiddling around with it, but it'll end up looking overworked. So already we have a good basis, good color palette to then apply our shadows and our higher contrast elements. Okay, I'll let that dry a little bit. In the meantime, I would like to announce that Susan has just arrived with a cake and all kinds of goodies. So help yourself. She's made cupcakes. I'm just going to grab a cup of coffee on my birthday.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I had to do Are you ready?
Also, we have magazines from our previous shows over here, so welcome to help yourself. Feel like taking them home, you're welcome. The coffee is from Cafe Bleu. It's a very good cafe across the street. Recommend it. I think it's the best. What do you say? Best coffee? I think Crave has the patio, but Cafe Bleu is the best coffee, I think. And interior. The interior is very nice. The wood is very nice. Yeah, yeah. But they never have enough seating. It's very. No. The best coffee, I'd say.
Beautiful. Yeah. What's favorite?
Yeah. Mofer used to be my favorite, but it's like they changed their coffee or something. It's not as good last time I went. Yeah, maybe they've gone too big now. How's everyone on the live chat? Everyone good there? Maria, Stefka, Janice, Gail, Denise.
Yeah, we fine.
Who else do we have? Rob Callahan, Michelle, Monica, Chris, Christine. Michelle B gave her a thumbs up. Okay, great. Great to have you with us. What's your time like? Okay, we're good for time.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of there. Also with rough, I find it takes, who else? Who uses rough? Kumar, do you use rough? Do you use rough paper?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Do you find it takes longer to dry?
No, it's fast. Depends on the.
You find so? Yeah. It's mostly there. Anyway, okay. So Next stage, I'm going to go darker. Might use a smaller brush. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, these two are good. Yeah, these are nice ones. Start with this and then I'll go to this. All right. I don't know what number this is. Anyway, bigger the better. You should only use the small brushes at the very, very end. You're doing tiny little details. So now I'm going to start with our forest. This up here. This is the Pyrrolene green. It's very earthy, very rich. It's very nice to work with. So first I'm going to chisel out the area around the hut. Do some little trees here, some happy trees. Now, as I go down in the tree, I'm going to get more sepia. It's always a good idea to have more than one, especially with washes, have more than one color going on so that it blends together in the wash. Yeah.
Would anybody want lemonade or water, which I left in the car? And I'm not gonna bother going getting it if nobody wants it. Does anybody want?
If someone wants, maybe they. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
how available, it's not that far, but I just. Once nobody wants it, it's really cool.
Yeah. I just.
See, I'm trying to make it fade from green to sepia here. Because it's just more interesting if you have more than one color that mixes together, especially with rough. It really mixes well together on the paper. And you got these nice little white patches here with rough paper. So cover up this previous area here. So I'm getting a bit more water and going back and doing a bit more detail in the mountains here again. But I'm fading it back the other way. So this way I've been fading it downwards, I'm fading it upwards into the mountains. Because obviously the further away it goes, the more faded it's going to be. Here's another tip where you can dry off your brush and you can absorb what you've already put down. So it creates a very nice gradient, as you can see there. It's a nice coffee warmer, this fan on the projector. Oh, here's another thing you can do. You get your fingernail, make some lines. Scratching some texture. All right, so the next step, two more steps. More detail on the chalet and a bit of grass, and then that'll be about it. You don't want to overwork the painting. So you always got to hold yourself back a little bit sometimes. Sometimes you got to quit when you're ahead. It's like gambling. Are you making it worse or better? So you have to know that point and know when to say, okay, that's enough. And it's good to plan ahead with that too. So you say, okay, how far am I going to go with this? Where am I going to stop? So then you say, okay, well, what's next? First, I'm going to add a little bit of texture. While this is drying, look a bit of texture on the trees here with clear water. Put some into the sky there. I want to dry that off. So you see, you get nice little blooms. Sometimes those are mistakes, but if you mean to do it, it can come out looking quite nice. Again, it gives natural texture. You want to use natural texture as much as possible. That's really the strength of watercolor. If you use natural texture, natural flowing of the paint together, if you just go in and paint every little thing, then you might as well just use acrylic or oils. So one reason this stands out is it's complete opposite color of the rest of the painting. You've got a lot of greens in here, and this has orange, which counterbalances all of our background. So this along with perspective and the background elements becomes an instant draw. So I don't want to go too extreme with the orange. I don't want to make it stand out too much. It's already standing out nicely. A little cartoonish if I add too much orange to it, basically. So now the challenge is what to add to it. I think I want to add a little bit more darkness underneath the roof here, get more shadow. But again, because it's kind of a hazy day, we don't want too much shadow. So just a little bit of accentuation here and here, and maybe a couple windows, and then a bit of grass here, and then I'm going to call it after that. So I'm going to go one brush down now. Ian Wright's favorite. Yes. This is a nice one, only $10 brush. So it's essentially the same kind of brush, but smaller. And this is the smallest brush I'm going to use. See, the nice thing with big brushes with sharp points is they hold a lot of water, and yet they still have a sharp point. So you can still get little details with the big brush. With a small brush with a small point, you got to keep dipping it again, and in dipping it, you're going to lose the consistency of the paint on the brush. So you're going to get different intensities of color. You might even end up with different colors if you accidentally dip the brush in other colors on your palette. So it's best to go as far as you can with one brush and get as much of that one color out just to keep that consistency, not to mess it up, not to get mud, not to have too much stuff going on in unintended colors, unintended contrasts, and to avoid having too many brush strokes. So here's my palette as it stands. It's a bit of a treasure hunt now for this orange. I've got a bit of orange still here that I'll bring out of the flood around it. A little bit mixture with this blue and green just to tone it down. And I'll just get underneath the I'm not going to do a full line because I don't want it to stand out too much. I just want to create an accent. I'll clean it off. I'll let this sand a bit. Get a bit of blue and sepia in there too. Because again, I don't want to have one color here that doesn't exist anywhere else. Otherwise, it's going to stand out and look cartoonish. Maybe just on this edge, just to differentiate it from the face. Okay, so Stephanie. Okay, so we kind of have a nice focal point around here. We've got this little one window, we've got the trees here. My last step is just to do some grass in the front and some final little textures around just to emphasize the points we still want to bring out a bit. So I want to balance it here a little bit, have a few bits of grass over here. Maybe a bit of darkness just around here, just to differentiate this line here from the cabin. So I've got to make sure that's nice and dry. You could do that, but I think it's not dry enough yet. Now, a quick way to see if it's dry, just hold it with your back of your hand. You have more nerves on the back of your hand that can send heat, so you can. Also, you don't get the oils from the front of your hand when you're painting it. So use the back of your hand, and you can tell if it's cold and it's still a bit wet. This is still a bit wet, but I think it's okay because a lot of it's going into the dry area here. And how's our time? Oh, 3:02. Okay. We're on schedule. I don't know if Roberta is here yet. Or Tati. Not yet. Okay, there are other live feeds that are going on today for Watercolor Day. We'll tune in with them once they show up. All right, so I'll show you my palette again. Getting some nice dark sepia. I'll mix it a bit with the green, so I'll have a very nice dark color for our final go. So, bit of grass here. Grass over here. I'll take your finger and smudge it a bit, give it a more natural look. And it's going to keep bleeding on the canvas or the paper here, so what you see now is not the final result. It's going to blend together and it's going to be a nice dark area there. A few more over here. You hold it at the top of the, you hold it from the top. It's much easier to do these kind of flicking motions. Almost like you're doing a signature. And again, you get your finger, you can kind of move it around. Make it more natural looking. Define this a bit more. Okay, it's getting close to the end now. Now's the time we look at it and we think, okay, what can we add? What more can we do? You can squint your eyes. You can see the contrast a bit better. You stop seeing the subject matter and you start seeing the shapes and the colors, composition, contrast. And that distances yourself from the what you think it should look like into what it actually looks like. Got a little bit of blue on the snow and the roof here. Oh, I didn't do the chimney. We have the chimney in the photo, so let's add that. Now, I don't want to call a lot of attention to the chimney. I'm going to put the chimney on the other side this time. So I think it was too up front last time. So downplay the colors. The other side, it's a bit much. Tone it down. There, that's better. And it looks like there's some smoke coming out of there. And I think last thing, I'll add a bit of blue into the window here. Marla, what do you think? What does it need? Good? Okay, yeah, I think that's about it. Any questions?
The colors we use.
Is the Ireland green and the sepia.
Yeah.
Very nice, very rich.
Yellow.
The yellow was core. ASO nickel or something. Nickel.
As a yellow.
That's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, the core high chroma kit is really nice.
I agree.
That's one of my favorites.
Yes.
I base my fundamental is core high chroma, augmented with some Rockwell special effects. So like the Magic Wizard and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
it's beautiful.
And these, like this is very,
The sky blue, right?
the sky blue also, the sky blue is, that's very,
My favorite.
yeah, it's very vibrant.
Beautiful.
So they're quite
The
intense.
Maryland green, yeah.
Ireland green, it's very earthy, very, nice, rich, very thick pigment.
Sure. I sometimes use quinacridone, not quinacridone gold. It's quinacridone rose.
Yeah.
To kill the green.
Oh, yeah, that would do it too. Yeah, it's a good way to, you go off, oh no, it's turning to my blue's turning to green, bring it back. And it just,
So true.
it's like, adding bleach to a stain. Okay, I'm getting tempted to keep adding stuff. To call it quits.
Less color, better.
Yeah, better to leave it. And again, this is a basic subject matter. This is a pretty basic tutorial.
Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of above. What would it be? It would be above. Above to the right, sort of. So it's hazy, so you wouldn't have high, I could add more shadow, like we have the dark here. So we kind of have our light is above here with a bit of shadow under here and also the shadow because the trees are obscuring a lot of it. And here also the sun would be fairly high because again, you have the shadow underneath the trees here with a bit of shadows pointing up along the ridges of the snow. So it'd be about here. But because it's hazy, it's kind of not our main focal point. If we were doing a very sunny day, then we would have very deep shadows and very intense darks. Oh yeah, next. So yeah, in this case, we're using our light direction. We're keeping it in mind, but it's not the main focus because it's kind of hazy. It's not a high light intensity image. If you're doing something on a summer day or doing a tropical, something that has intense shadows, then that really comes into play. You really have to define out exactly where your shadows are going to be. The shadows are almost half the battle. Especially if you're doing portraits, you got to define out where the shadows on the nose are going to be, where the depth in the eye is going to be. This is more of like shadows is sort of another level of tutorial because that requires some sort of 3D imagining of the image and where the shadows are going to fall. So you have to imagine the head is a 3D object and then imagine where the shadow would be projected off the nose. This is more of a basic subject matter for beginners that we can kind of not have to deal too much with that. It's there, of course, but the main thing here is the contrast between the darks and the lights, and more in terms of their depth and the composition and how much sun is falling on them. So these are darker, not so much because there's less light, but because they're closer to the subject matter, and the haze is causing us to see the things in the distance more blurry and more less contrast. So like if it was a completely bright sunny day in say the summer and you didn't have the clouds and haze, then you see the mountains much more clearly. But then you have to decide, what is my subject matter? What am I painting? The mountains? Am I painting the chalet? Am I painting the trees? So that's always the most important thing when you start, is what am I really painting here? And then everything else has to sort of work together. It's like a movie. You have your star character, and then the other characters are supporting characters who will then emphasize that star character's attributes. So our star character here is the chalet, and everything else is supporting the chalet in the composition. So if we had the sun as the main player in it, and lots of shadows, like we could have shadows going across the pathway. If the sun is coming from over here, we could have long shadows crossing it. And in that case, the light play would be probably the main subject matter. How the light is playing across it. You can do a whole painting based on shadows and the way the light plays in the composition. So in that case, that is your subject matter. So in every painting, you have to find out what is this painting really about? What am I focusing? You can't just paint everything. That's a common issue I see with a lot of people, is they just try and paint. They'll take a photo and they're just trying to paint the photo. But then what are you painting? You're just trying to paint everything. You have to decide what is your focus? What is your purpose in painting this? Because if you have a photo, then you have a photo. You don't have to do a painting of it. But what is it about that photo? What is it about that composition you're looking at that brings you to it and makes you interested in looking at this? Why do you want to spend, an hour or several hours painting this image if you're not really sure what it's about? So it's always important to have that as your main reason for painting it. What am I really trying to paint here? I'm not just trying to paint everything. Because I see it all the time. It's just, oh, it's a nice photo, but why is it a nice photo? What in it is that makes it interesting? And then so once you find that, then everything else has to work towards that. Now, you can have a nice composition where there's several things involved. You could have, a lot of the Renaissance paintings, they have a whole storyline going on. But in that storyline, you have a flow of where your eye leads. You have the hand of God reaching down. So you go from the face to the beard to the arm to the finger, and then Adam is there, and it goes from his hands to him, and then it goes off. So that's part of the whole flow of the painting or the whole mural in that case. So yeah, you always have to keep that in mind of where is your eye leading around the paper or the wall or the canvas, and how is that guiding you to make your work interesting. So
normally inside the we normally express out windows.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a bit of a, yeah. It should be darker. Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any vision.
Sometimes you break the rules a bit. Like this is breaking the rules for sure. This window here, that would not be in real life. You wouldn't necessarily, you'd have to be lighting from the inside to create that light. Sometimes you have to play with reality a little bit. Sometimes you have to, because again, that's why you're painting. A photo is going to show you exactly what's there. In a painting, you're going to have things that may not be there in reality, but may be acceptable to the eye and add interest to it. So yeah, if I was really going based on reality, this would all be much darker. And yes, that would all be dark inside. But they could be white blinds, But that's what makes it interesting, because then you start asking questions. What is this? Oh, why is this like this? And if it looks perfectly like the photo, then just like, oh wow, good job. Looks like the photo. Okay. It doesn't make you question it or wonder or who lives there, what's going on. It's just it adds character to it. And some people, you go all the way to abstraction or surrealism, and it's just completely up to your own perspective of what it means, or you can go the other direction to realism, where it's exactly representing what the subject matter is. So in that continuum, you have to find your own style, and how much of it are you going to represent true to the exact image, or how much of it are you going to try and play off of and add your own interest to. So there's never really a right or wrong. It comes down to your own style and what you're gonna, how real to the real world do you want it to be. And another factor is, because I'm just kind of doing this out of my memory, I'm adding stuff to it that wouldn't be there. This is more of an imaginary. If I was going off, I did present the image there, but I don't have it in front of me, so I'm not using it as an exact reference. I'm using it sort of as a thematic reference that I have in my head. Okay, this shape here, this shape here, and I'm making it in my head the way I see it in my head. Now, if say, for instance, I'm doing a commission that's based off of an actual photo, and it has to be true to that, it has to be much more realistic. In that case, then you really follow reality, and you really, try and follow the subject matter. In a case like this, it's more of a fantastical theme that you're kind of making it up as you go along. You're not exactly referencing something. And it's mostly about it's mostly about just practicing techniques, like the darker areas, the contrast, the going from a bigger brush to a smaller brush, which colors you're going to use. That's more the main thing of it. Like, it's, this is kind of a quick, yeah. I'm showing you this is the overall, because all the stuff goes on in your mind as you're painting, because you're always questioning, okay, how much more real should I make it? How much more loose should I make it? And that's always going on in your head. That's always the balance you're working with, and that's when it's hard to stop sometimes, because you think, okay, have I realized my vision in this? And 90% of the time, it's not. You have something more perfect in your mind of where you think it should be. So that's why it's like the better you get, the more you're not happy with your work, because you have a higher and higher idea of what your work should be, and then it's harder and harder to realize that work on paper. Where often, if you're starting, you're just kind of happy that, oh wow, I made some nice colors and made some nice effects, and oh great, there we go. But there's that quote, as the island of knowledge grows, so do the shores of ignorance. So the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. So that's always a challenge. So it's just further you go, the harder it gets. Anyway, that's a long answer. Okay. Aha. Yeah, it does. So yeah, that's why this is kind of the representation of light bouncing around. Sorry? Yeah.
So, how do you choose which brush to use, like flat versus round, like, bigger?
Well, flat is good when you have artificial shapes like a wall. If you have to have a very, very straight line, very, very solid area, if you want to get nice chiseled, flat is good. Also, if you're doing, say, a background, you want to get nice chiseled edges and really get that line nice and tight. But again, you can also do that with the rounds. Yeah, mostly for when I think of the flat, is you can also turn it on its side, and you can do a straight line like that. You can straight line down, and you can bring it across and get that whole shape. So if you're dealing with very geometric shapes, the flat tends to be better. But it kind of depends on how you feel that day sometimes. Sometimes you want to...
Yeah, but for loose lines, we will use that. Yeah.
Sorry?
For loose lines.
For loose lines? For the most part. Yeah, for the most part. It gives a more organic look, more organic line. whereas the flat is more chiseled and geometric.
Well, this is a rough paper.
Yeah.
Why do you think rough paper?
I don't necessarily prefer rough paper. In fact, I haven't, this is the first time I've been on a rough paper since last year when I did this demo last year. So it's good for loose landscapes because it has a very natural flow to it and very, when you do this dry brush technique where it leaves lots of areas with that, little white bits in between it. So you get that nice look. That's very hard to reproduce on, especially on hot press because it's so flat. But on this, it's very easy to create that very natural texture. So it's good for this kind of this sort of approach, this sort of subject matter. Sometimes you just want to try something different because there's also UPO on the other hand. On the other extreme, there's UPO. And UPO will just flow and just takes forever to dry and just sits on the paper. And it's a whole other way to go with it. It's very, very impressionistic looking. So yeah, that's a whole other direction. So it just kind of depends on how you feel on the day, what you're looking for, what kind of. And the more you practice with these different mediums, I think the better a painter you get too, because you learn how better to manipulate the paint on the paper and how it's going to work and how it's not going to work. It's all different ways to approach things. Oh, we got snow now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So it's 3:25. Do we have Roberta? Roberta was going to. No, maybe not. Okay, we don't have Roberta. We don't have Tati or Marcia. So let's see then. And we'll rotate this. Okay. All right. How are people doing with their demos? Oh, probably we should keep our eyes open. Yeah. You have a little fan there. Or I can have that hair practice. Probably have to use more opinion. Also give you my. Okay. Chris, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Do you want to turn off my mute here? Do you want to administer the? Oh, I can't hear myself. Okay. You want to administer? Hold on, this is annoying. Okay. The member's choice we have that, so we don't have the one yet for the daily challenge, but we do have the member's choice from the magazine. You want to conduct a vote on that?
I'd have to find it.
Hold on, turn my volume.
I guess my question is, where is it?
It's in the magazine, the members gallery.
Okay, I gotta come back to you because I gotta go and find it first.
Because we don't have Tati and Roberta. They were supposed to be doing their local events, but I don't see them yet. You want me to send you the magazine?
I've got it here. I just got
Alright.
to upload. Okay, members' choice. Oh,
Hey.
shoot.
You just arrived? Thank you. I just did a demo.
I got a lot.
Oh. St. Matthew, St. Michael's, or St. Matthew's. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, they got coffee and drinks and stuff.
Okay, I just wanted to stop by, support the cause.
Sure, thanks for calling. We also have old magazines there for other shows. Take one of those if you want.
Good. Well, you look so official.
I'll publish the video later. Yeah.
I made it.
Good, fine.
Missed your presentation.
Oh, no.
I was trying so hard to get here
Yeah.
for the presentation. Life at home just went, it went haywire.
Yeah.
So I couldn't make it. I would get
Oh,
here
wow.
halfway through, but didn't even start.
Kathy's supposed to be doing.
I just sent them a WhatsApp message. Want me to do it now?
Yeah,
Like, where are you?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe you should, of course.
Ian, I need to say goodbye.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. See you soon.
Take care. See you.
Thank you.
Hi, Ian.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. You remember Jessica?
Yeah. I think I better at the house.
Yeah, I'm so fun how many people are here.
Yeah, well, it's a nice turnout.
Yeah, no, it's so bad outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
We've got John Campbell supposed to come do music, half an hour. Now I got a message in.
See the original?
I did three versions of it. Oh, no, that's the newest version. I like this. I don't
Three
know.
versions of it. Interesting.
Yeah.
My glasses, it was reflecting light.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I said. You get all the complaint.
And there can be light, if there's light.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's up to your imagination. That much.
Can I see the other one? I like that format. Is that from the Milena?
Oh, it's Goblin.
Oh, that's
Goblin.
That's a nice. That's from 1x14. What's that?
I cut it from.
Oh, okay. It's not panoramic, but it's nicer than a landscape.
Yeah,
It's better than
it's
11x14.
a half sheet of,
Yeah.
big
I
Goblin.
don't like the 11x14 size.
No,
It's for certain subjects, it's still,
Yeah.
it's not landscape.
I like it for this one. Yeah. Okay. Which is right. Yeah. It's got, yeah. And also the way it flows and wash and kind of. Yeah. It's like it, yeah. I bet you I didn't like it, but. Not for the kids, but you kind of have to already understand how it works. Good, appreciate it. The way it flows and that. Yeah. And I get that. And those are bad.
Really? That's, I mean, I think it's meant like Canadian.
Yeah, Brian.
Taiwan.
Yeah, it's like $20.
But this is, this is better actually.
Yeah. Yes.
Blow dryers are not the best thing. So what's happened? I can give them a phone call. Oh, there we go.
Very nice.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Okay, can we see the magazine?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, somebody can see it. Okay.
Oh,
All right, we need to get Ian back. Ian.
They're not. They are. I guess.
So I believe we're going through members' choice.
Check out IWS Canada. So I did.
Everything percent.
You take, we have old magazines there.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're logging in.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
so,
You just catch up. Oh, nice. I didn't come up with that. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Also good. Okay, everyone, further in our day, we should have John Campbell arriving at 4, at least last I heard from him. He's going to be playing the piano for us. He's an excellent musician. So then we just have our online, our prize. Tati Tung has just joined us from Montreal. They have their own event going on there. They're going to share it with us. So for locally, John Campbell coming at 4. We have some magazines still there. Also, anybody who's not a member of IWS Canada, $55 a year to join up. And we have plenty of outings. We have a show once a year. We have an online magazine. We have paint outs. We have all kinds of events going on. So it's a wonderful way to connect with a watercolor community that spans all across Canada. And IWS Canada is one branch of many branches all around the world. The whole IWS global network. So highly recommend it. I myself, before I found IWS, I was just doing little shows, art crawl, and no one else was painting watercolor. And then found IWS, and I was surprised that you had this resource in Canada. And it's like having some colleagues, so you can always have people to bounce your ideas off of, people to be inspired by. Also, the rest of the year, we're going to be focusing on some more skill building workshops with some of our professional members. We'll be teaching other members sort of a mentorship role to help everyone improve in their painting, because that's ultimately our goal as IWS, to get people, more and more people interested in watercolor and promote them to be the best painters they can become, and thus enjoy watercolor even more. Build community, build networks, build friendship all across Canada. So thank you for coming in today. Please stick around. We have lots of snacks. We've got coffee and we have cake. Susan's over there. Cupcakes galore, and drinks and snacks, all kinds of stuff there. We have Tati Tung joining us now from Montreal, and we also have Crystal Ostenstad, who's taking the survey for the prize of who is going to win our members' choice for our last magazine. We have a quarterly magazine, and all members are allowed to participate and send in their work. And we choose a winner based on who votes for their favorite painting. And we have many prizes like this throughout the year, plus a little contest that anybody can win. We have them for all levels, so it's not just for best painters to take home all the prizes. So people can vote online during our Zoom. We have a monthly Zoom meeting. People can tune in and vote. And we're just seeing who the winner will be for our last magazine, last quarterly magazine, Members' Choice. Just as a reminder, we have Lawrence Kavanaugh and we have Bill Costigan here from TWS, Toronto Watercolor Society, and the Mississauga Watercolor Society, and Krista Geldart, also from TWS, and Susan also from TWS, maybe there's others too. So those are also local membership communities. TWS, they have Aquavision once a year locally, and there's Mississauga Watercolor Society if you're further out in the west end. And so we encourage you to check out their websites and check out their organizations. If you wish to be part of more societies and have more inspiration. So we welcome them and we welcome all of you. So let's see if Tati's around. Tati's around, we can go to the Montreal edition of the World Watercolor Day.
Hello. Oh, I'm trying to see if you can see me here. I don't think
There we go. Okay, Tati, take it away.
So we are doing our small event, kind of last minute, but it's great because we have a wonderful presentation of Hannah on how to paint. Yes, please.
Aurora Borealis.
Aurora. There you go. We had Marcia talking about her experience with sketchbooking.
Yeah.
Right? Travel sketchbooks.
Yeah.
Just show. Yeah. As you can see, we will have Julie in a bit talking about clouds and the use of white space. And I'll be doing a tiny presentation on loose portraits. So yes, we're having our fun here too in Quebec. Happy International Watercolor Day, guys.
Thank you, Tati.
My pleasure.
Make sure you take some photos and video. It'll be great to see what you're doing over there.
Sure will.
How's it going with the contest, Chris?
Well, so far it's not going. I've got everything. But I need somebody to help me with the vote in the chat because I clearly can't do both things at the same time today.
Okay, anybody there who can give her a hand? Who's still there? Denise?
Yeah, I had to leave school.
Oh, okay.
I
Rita or
think,
Stephanie or Christine? Who else we got? Stephanie, do you want to help?
Yeah, let me.
Can't find my mute button. There we go. Yes, I can help.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to start showing the members gallery and we'll go through each page. There's 41 pages. I don't know if they're all the same, but anyways, we'll find out as we go along here. Now is Esme, are you still, Esme, have you made it back on yet? Esme was having a problem trying to get back onto Zoom. Says she cannot connect and she's on hold. Okay. Okay, so I'm just sharing my screen. So does everybody see the magazine here on it? Yep. All righty. So let's start on the first page here. Top left is Pretty in Pink. Top right is Shadow. And the bottom is Envers at Contre 2. Next page, top right is Wedding. Bottom left is Timeless Prayer. Bottom right is Icy Pathways. So make sure you just, when you see one that jumps out at you, just put the title in the chat and then we will, we'll go from there. We'll run through it twice, just so if you missed it the first time, we can do it again. So the next page here, top left is Winter Kivy Park. Top right is Black Cat Ranch. And the bottom is Misty Embrace. Whoops. There we go. Left is Ink Lotus. On the right is Watching. And on the bottom is First Blanket of Soft Snow. The next page, top left is Good Neighbor. Top right is Outbound. And the bottom is Back of House. In Stratford, I'm guessing. This one, top left, is Lotus Pond. Top right is Wild Horses. And the bottom is Duke. Next page, top is Couleur d'Hiver. Excuse my French. And the bottom, Avec Meilleur Vélo. Top left is Dog Rubia. Top right is Winter. And the bottom is Breaker Ridge. Top right is Bow River. And the bottom is October Morning. Top left, Winter Light. Top right is Kira. And the bottom is Late Fall in Yaletown. Top left, Midnight Silence. Top right, Tuxedo Junction. And the bottom is Cascade Green Canite. Top left is Blanketed. Top right is Frida from Mexico. And the bottom right is Winter on the River. Top left is Farm Stand Treasures of Gabriola. Top right, Freemas. And the bottom is Crimson Destiny in Motion. Top left, Les Spirel Importis. Top right is Grouse Mountain. And bottom is Greg. Top is Yukon Wild Lupine. Top right, Essence of Nature's Light. And the bottom is Sunnyside Studio. Top left, Sapin Fleur Sauvage. Top right, Après la Tempête. And the bottom is Mystique Apsara. Top left, Peekaboo Raccoon. Top right, Old Castle. And the right, Your Way Was Through the Sea. Top left, Rivers of Joy. Yeah, top right, Crimson Reflections. And the bottom is Melancholy. Top left here, New Blossom. Title for the top right, The Brickworks of Toronto. Bottom left is Indian Wedding. All right, I think that is all of it. So let's go back to the beginning. And I will quickly go through the pages again. Okay. Here's page 2. Page 3. Page 4. And page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. And page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. And page 17. Page 18.
It must be something like that.
18.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
There we go.
So put in your vote in the chat and let's see what we come
Wow,
up with.
look at that. Look at that portrait of that couple. I think that's a good one to vote for.
Ha ha ha. I think Frida Mexico is the best one to vote for.
That's a cute one. Can you remind people the voting rules again, please?
Good question. Generally you can vote. No, what do we do? Are we doing first, second, and third, Ian? Or are we just doing one choice?
Okay, everyone, just for reminder, we have John Campbell. John Campbell will be coming in 15 minutes to do a piano recital, so please stick around because he's an excellent musician and will be joining us very soon.
Okay, so we're voting for one. So we're going to try and narrow it down.
I'm curious.
This is from Rockwell. They're a semi-Canadian company. It's Chinese, but they have an office in Concord. Like office. So it's kind of it helps me read it's kind of it's important
Chris, I made 3 suggestions. Is that okay?
Yeah,
or
that's
should I
fine. Yeah,
take
that's
2 of
fine.
them back?
No, that's fine. We'll just pick them out again and then we'll get everybody to vote on the next round.
All righty.
Okay. So is everybody's vote in?
I don't know. I've only got 8 nominations, so.
Okay.
And I think there's 12 of us, 11 of us online.
Yeah, I got 10 participants online.
Okay, and I don't know how many members are there in person in Toronto
Yeah, I don't
that
know.
want to vote.
Or they're not voting. Okay, well let's just take the ones that we have in the chat.
Okay.
So let's go back and find the first one. So now we're going to do an elimination on the votes. Okay, so the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, Stephanie, what's the first one that we see?
First one is outbound.
Outbound. Okay.
For the examination, Chris, how
Mhm.
are we working at? We're each just voting for most favorite at this
Yeah,
point?
so this will be
Okay.
most favored at this point.
Okay.
Okay, so we have outbound, which is this one on the top right.
One of the, when you started teaching me water.
And the next one
It's very much about like the tubes, and like, brown spots.
is October morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I dropped the ball.
It's also
Sorry,
why I
Chris.
had it all here.
October
Yeah, that's
morning.
okay.
Kind of mix
I'm
each
looking
other.
to see if someone's voted.
It's good to have, yeah, because they have one solid color.
October morning is.
October morning. Okay, let me find that one.
It's, I have to vote for that one because it's mine.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
There we
yeah,
go.
October morning.
That's why.
Okay. And Tuxedo Junction. That would be this one. That's Celinda's.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Frida from Mexico.
I'm impressed with your set.
Right here. And then Enver et Conte 2.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
That's okay. No worries.
I've got this whole wires are crossed right. Background noise.
I know, it's
Good
a bit-
neighbor. Good neighbor was another one.
Okay.
I'm not sure where that is because.
Members gallery, 3 galleries.
Oh, good neighbor is the toad.
Oh, that's the toad. Okay. Still looking for the French one.
I think it's the next page. Oh, you're looking for the. I think they all very contradictions. Oh no, I'm not gonna say where I think it is. Forgot.
Doing it all.
Ah, here it is. It's this one at the bottom here.
Oh, okay.
So there's a vote for this one. Midnight Silence is the next one.
Oh, that didn't even show up on my feed till just now. Oh, I got Midnight Scene. Oh, so Midnight.
Okay, Scene. Midnight Scene.
I don't know. It was Midnight Scene the first time, so it's.
Oh yeah, Midnight Silence.
why
This
it's
one
showing
right here. Okay. And
Okay.
then Wild Horses.
Yep.
It's back here. There they are. Wild Horses right here.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the ones that were nominated. So let's see where we get into round 2 here. So vote 1 for your first favorite. That's for round 2. Okay, cast your vote for round 2.
Yes.
All right, does everybody have round two in? I can only see three there, so.
I only see three as well.
Okay. Last call for round two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we'll move on. So this will be the last round that you can vote on your favorite. We only have 3 nominations out of the full one. So the first one's October morning.
Yep. Frida from,
October
you're
morning.
looking them up, sorry.
That's okay. I'm just finding
Kind of
them.
in the middle, somewhere close to yours.
Okay, October morning.
There it is, bottom.
Oh yes, there we go.
Bottom left.
October morning. And
And
we
then
have
Frida from
Frida.
Mexico.
There's Frida from Mexico.
All right. Oh,
And Midnight
Midnight
Silence.
Silence.
Which is keep going by.
It's kind of like that stuff I do.
Midnight Silence.
Also,
This one right here.
That's it. Yep.
All right, so choose your winner from those 3. Cast your
You might
vote
need a new
now.
voter.
Maybe.
Is not gonna vote for. Okay. Round 3, cast your vote.
Yeah.
Okay, round 3. Somebody needs to cast their votes.
I cast mine.
You cast yours.
I'm waiting for people to
Cast their
go for
vote.
the other.
Round 3. Oh, good. We got a new one. Okay,
Silence
Midnight
again?
Silence.
Chris, just
Yep.
a note.
Yes.
After this, I'm going to play Milena's demo, and
Okay,
then
perfect.
we're going to start packing up here, and then I'm going to pass it off to you, and you can play Lorraine's demo at any point.
Oh, okay. Do I have
I'll
that?
send you the YouTube link.
Okay, perfect.
Since you're BC, then it seems appropriate you would play her demo.
Sounds good.
So play it at the end, or just whenever you need a 40-minute break.
Yeah, I need a break now. I have a bunch of work orders.
Yeah,
to do.
well, you'll have a break in a sec, because once that's done, we can play Milena's demo.
Okay.
Hey, John, how you
Okay,
doing?
so last call for that. So right now we have 1 vote for October morning and 2 votes for Midnight Silence.
Attention, everyone. Attention, everyone. We have John Campbell here to play us some piano to finish up the day. He's an excellent musician. And yeah, enjoy.
What do you think,
Thank you,
Stephanie?
John, for
Should I
coming.
call
Let
it?
me clear up the
Yeah,
piano for
call
you there.
it, Chris. Nobody else is
Okay.
weighing in.
All right, so the winner for Members' Choice is Midnight Silence by.
Woohoo!
Who's it by? Oh, I
I
can't even read that. It's so small.
No, because it wasn't noted.
Tina Price.
Oh. Cool.
All right. Congratulations, Tina Price. You have the Members' Choice. All righty. I'm turning it back over to Ian.
Hey, Ian. Are you here?
Weird, I can't hear anything. Wait, send him a text message.
It's good.
Perfect for
So I practice some. So long.
Yeah, it's
on Friday, so then she's got
on the big one.
in school. And on Monday, we were there, so.
I was thinking they were leaving. How the can.
My year as a teacher, and she just said, looks like.
That was like a week or so.
Well, that's because they stopped finding a lot of
Then we
the,
did,
the good stuff that you bring in speed.
Yeah, now.
Really good stuff. Now it's like, what do you want to do?
Yeah,
Get together and have a chit chat.
that's exactly what it is. That's all she says it is. She says, I got no phone. That's not to do. If there's any give time off.
I can look at the camera to the class.
Oh.
are you taking a picture of us?
No, I'm in a Zoom meeting right now, so the Zoom celebration.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's a back east, but I can see somebody else, but I don't have to see myself.
you want us to go?
There we go. I just sent it on.
Oh, the piano guy, I can see him. That's weird.
I went out a couple of times. I didn't say.
Okay, it's working. It's working.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was gonna say the alternative is just mute your device
Yeah.
and just have the audio come in through your phone
Right.
and then out through your laptop.
I switched it to the microphone here. So.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you, Bob? Hey, how are you again? Jennifer, yes. Yeah.
What a cool day. We're the brave ones.
Has it gotten colder since noon?
Pretty cold out.
Yeah.
Have you been here since noon?
Yeah. Well, no, 2 o'clock. I'm waiting for Sunday, -30.
I'm snow.
Yeah. So, have you been here earlier to see the demo? Ah. All right. Wow. He's a real asset to IWS. Just that he does so much. Ian, yeah, coordinates things, promotes things. So yeah, this, and then also a great painter. So well, that's just it. He DJs also. So he's got all sorts of things. Yeah, yeah, very impressive.
In between things or something.
Well, he did his
Going to try and put up a video here. Hi, Roberta. Okay, so next up we have Roberta. Just going to do a quick update about on the prairies.
Hey, just let me know when you're ready for me, Chris.
Yeah, you can pretty much go anytime. I'm going to see if I can get Ian to mute the piano again. Okay, I just sent him a message, so. Okay, I think you're good to go, Roberta.
Greetings, everyone from the prairies of Canada. It's in Saskatchewan, actually, where I live in the prairie provinces. It's not actually very prairie here. There's a lot of pine and spruce, and it's parkland, but we're still a prairie province. And I'd just like to welcome everyone here who is tuning in from our area. And thank you for having me. So I made a time zone error. So I'm late, but I'll do better next time. Anyway, I just wanted to, first of all, say hi to everybody. I've been fortunate to be able to attend an IWS event in person and got to meet some of the members in person, which was very enjoyable. And so hi to Ian and Susan and Alice, whom I met at another event, and Mariana, and other people that I've managed to meet along the way. So along in the prairies here, what we're doing right now is trying to build up some membership. Not a lot of members from here. There are some that have been members and haven't renewed, so I'll be touching base with them. And others that are new members, and so it'd be nice to see them be able to attend some events as well. We're hoping in the future to have some on-site events in Saskatchewan, and I was thinking maybe next year when we have our IWS World Watercolour Day, maybe we could have an event going here too, that we can have them both going at the same time and work back and forth a little bit. So that would be fun. And also really our friends in Manitoba. I don't think we have any members from Manitoba right now. So that's an area I want to reach out to. And Alberta is our neighbor to the other side. And Alberta, I think you're stuck between knowing whether you belong in the prairies or in the mountains. But certainly Alberta and Saskatchewan are not that far apart. And so we could definitely do some joint events here. So also a thank you to everyone, the fantastic response we've had to the IWS Winter Blues Painting Challenge. I'm just having so much fun seeing everybody's work, and there will be some prizes doled out for those entries at some point in time here, probably the end of January or 1st of February. And I'm just loving how everyone is interpreting the prompts. So I have nothing really much else to say, and just wanted to say thank you to everyone for having me, and I hope that you enjoyed your event today. I'll have to catch up on the recording. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. All right. Now, is Esme back on? Esme was having a problem. She was on and then she was off, and I'm not sure where she's at. Esme, are you there? Are you there? Okay, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play, we have a little video from Milena. Let me just load that up and everybody can watch her demo. Alrighty.
I think you can unpin me.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I keep having to go back and forth between my phone and everything here. So let me share my screen. And I don't know if there's actually any sound on this, because it doesn't appear to have sound. Okay. There we go, share. Okay, and share. Okay. There we go. So I believe this is just a demo with no sound. Everybody can see the screen, hopefully.
Yes, we're seeing it.
Okay. Wish there was some volume. If we could hear a commentary of what she's doing, but anyways, this is only a little 20-minute video.
Maybe we need the piano back.
Maybe. I love the fact that she's just using one paint. I think that's pretty amazing.
Kind of drives home the importance of value, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We have a question there in the chat. Chris, I don't know if you noticed it.
Oh, okay. Let me see. This would be Milena, who's doing the video.
Milena is from Vancouver, correct?
I thought she was from Toronto.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah, I believe she's in Toronto.
a little bit of a dip down to the lake, and it was so windy.
Hello, is Alice here? I'm just wondering who is doing the demo right now? Alice from BC.
Stay in the forest today.
That was lovely work from Milena. Thank you, Milena, for submitting that.
Okay, I see that's all ended. So much for stepping out for 2 seconds.
Yeah,
here.
we were just waiting for you to come and bring us all back together.
All right, cool. All right. Let me I'm going to share a message from Esme, and I don't know if she's actually made it back onto the meeting or not. She was having troubles connecting and stuff. So let me do a little screen share here, and hopefully you can hear it.
We have no volume right now.
Oh, great. No. No volume. Great. This is not good.
Should I wait for you, Chris, or?
Yeah, just wait for
Okay,
me.
okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if I heard correct. Okay.
All right. I have no idea what's going on here. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one, which is see if I can get it to work. From Lorraine Simonds, who's in BC. And this would be her probably the beginner-friendly expressive watercolor session that she puts out. I've attended quite a few sessions of hers, either online or I've actually seen her in person at Opus Art Supply, which is quite good. So I'm going to play her video and let's go from here. And let me know if you don't hear the sound.
And welcome to my studio here in Squamish, British Columbia, Canada. I'm an award-winning artist and signature member of the Federation of Canadian Artists, and I'm best known for my emotive and atmospheric loose watercolor portraits. And so that is what we're going to be doing today. This is just going to be a really easy introduction to portraiture. We're not going to go into too much about colors. We're really going to look at tone and value and learn a little bit about how to create form. We're going to be looking a little bit on brushwork and using water, and also some lifting techniques, which I love to do in my portraiture. The goal of this is just to have fun, not worry too much about the outcome, and let all of those colors just flow and the pigments mix and mingle. to do this portrait, we're not even going to be using realistic colors, but we're going to be using some 3 colors from my portraiture curated collection of Rockwell. So I'm going to be using amethyst, and amethyst is derived from amethyst. I think this one is a little bit different from Rockwell because it granulates into those blues and pinks, which are super delicious and yummy. I also have another specialty pigment that you don't need to have. This is called Magic Wizard, and it granulates into tones of like quin gold and like a sepia or burnt sienna. So that's really fun. When you mix those 2 together, you get these really rich darks. And then sometimes I might also plug in a little bit of this light turquoise, and this light turquoise is almost like a Chinese white mixed in with like a phthalo turquoise, so it has a little bit of opacity to it, and when you get a nice thick amount, it's really fun to splash into your paint, so you get some interesting textures. This is the portrait that we're going to be doing. This is of a tribesman in Rajasthan, and the kind of cool thing about this is that these tribes in Rajasthan will likely no longer be, according to recent studies, because of all the globalization and modernization that's happening there. So we're going to be capturing this man here. If you're uncomfortable getting a preliminary sketch of a face down, there are lots of options for you. You can print out a copy of the reference photo, and you can, if you don't have a light box and you don't and you can't trace, you can also use a bright sunny window to trace your image onto your watercolor paper. There's also lots of apps that you can use that would digitally project the image onto your paper, so you have a preliminary sketch drawn for you. Okay, so those are some sketching options for you if you're not confident in drawing, or that's just part of your process. And so with that, I think we're ready to get started. So let's go. Okay, so we're going to be painting this portrait of this tribesman in Rajasthan, one of the faces and cultures that may not be around with us for more than 20 or so years as modernization changes the world. So yes, let's get going. So we're going to be doing more of a monochromatic kind of study on his face. So we're going to be using 2 colors here today. I'll be using my amethyst and my magic wizard. So the amethyst is made with amethyst. This one has almost granulates to some ultramarine and some pinks there, which is really fun. And this magic wizard, it almost has a kind of a quin gold with a kind of a sepia tone to it. And because these are almost complementary colors, when you combine them, it has a really nice dark value. So we're going to be exploring, looking at those tones in his face. Okay, so without ado, I'm going to be starting off with some beautiful complementary, some colorgraphic brushes, because we're going to be focusing on brushwork. So I've got a little bit of my amethyst in here and my what do you call it? My magic wizard. And you know, I might pull in that light turquoise color. Just going to squeeze that light turquoise right on the end. I don't know if you can see it on screen, but it's this color here, and it's kind of like an opaque turquoise. It's got some kind of like Chinese white kind of with it, as well as like maybe like a phthalo turquoise kind of color. All right, I have these 2 colorgraphic brushes. They're really fun to use because they are create really nice lines. Okay, so let's begin. So we have the light coming on from him from this angle here. So this side of his face is going to be lighter than this side of his face. And I'm almost kind of setting in with the darkest, more of the dark mid values of where I see it on his order. Sorry, I'm marking in all of where I see the dark values, and I'm coming in with the amethyst into that wash, and I'm kind of just deepening that tone here, and just with a brush with a little bit of water, we are going to move in, leaving out a couple of highlights, those wrinkles in his face. This part here is really dark. I'm not focusing completely on accuracy. By marking in where those darker values are. That's my puppy dog. Letting the colors run in. And see a little bit of a darker value here. I'm going to let that dry a little bit and then soften it later because it's too wet right now. If I go in now, it's going to bleed too much. I'm going to grab a little bit more of the amethyst under his nostril to give a little bit of emphasis there. And some dark amethyst in here. I'm going to let that just settle in a little bit more. It's getting close. The sheen is starting to come off. So I can just gently soften some of these lines in there because I don't want them to run in too close to each other at this stage. It's almost some really dark darks into where his eye socket or the bridge of his nose coming in here. Into his eyes. I love these older faces because they have so many interesting lines and textures to them. Pull that through. It deepens around here. Around here as well. Corners of the eye sockets tend to be darker. I want to soften that line over, but not yet. Move this around. And then right in here, we have some more tones. The side of his face. Letting that bleed through. And his mouth, I might just lean in. Oh, maybe a little bit warmer on the top there for contrast. A little bit of light on the lower lip, and then usually under the lip is a shadow cast on the bottom lip. A little dry brushing for texture. Lower lip. A little bit of dark there. And squinting at my painting just to see what's going on. Some more value there. I can soften some parts here now that they're starting to dry a bit more. Get some of it into nose in as well. It's almost leaning cool to me, so I'm going to utilize the purple amethyst. Warm at the bottom of his nose. I'm just going to allude to some texture in his skin. And I think that's good for now. Okay. Now that we've done that, I feel like we're going to go a little bit more amethysty in the darks here. So where I see really dark values, I am brushing them in, and then I'm using water. I'm going to wait till it dries a little bit further though before I do that, in order to just allow the water to pull the pigment out and bleed it out. And by doing so, it kind of creates, you know, different tonal values. I'm just working in some of the darks while I'm here. Just bleeding it out. There we go. Following the movement of his skin, almost thinking almost like gesture. Okay, it's kind of drying up a little bit now, so I'm ready. I'm gonna even take that brush and let me have a look. There's like kind of really gentle shadows around here on the edge, where it just kind of curves around along the creases. And these creases here. And maybe a little bit along here as well. Let me just get my bearings. Yes, it just kind of comes in through here. And you've got some of that little... Maybe while it's a little bit wet, I will just take my brush and let some darker values form. Try and leave some gaps between my brush marks. How fun is that? Marking in while I have it dark. Just a couple of areas where it's really dark on his face. See if I can leave room for his tooth. Bottom front tooth, that's kind of showing. The line's pretty prominent. Lots of lines that kind of go down here. Really dark along there. Oh, and here as well. That one feels pretty crucial to emphasizing parts of him. You can see how wet everything is and how I'm not too concerned with the line or accuracy to a certain degree. I feel like the feeling of it is more important than trying to get the exact likeness. This is what's going to take your, sometimes doing quick exercises like this is the kind of exercise that will help take your portraits to the next level. Just being unafraid, trying to feel the painting more than communicate the accuracy of every line, and learning how to suggest rather than describe everything that you see. Sometimes even just having this short period to do it that you give yourself makes you edit and try to choose what's the most important thing in which I need to communicate. I'm going to switch over to the amethyst, and I think I need to throw a little bit of that in there now, just because, not amethyst, the magic wizard, because it's a little bit isolated from everything else, and so I want everything to feel connected. And you know what, before I forget, let's even just go a little bit fun, try and get some thick turquoise in there. If it's thick enough, it won't bleed everywhere into the wash. It's a little bit more fun. You know, and there's in areas of his face which I think wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of turquoise in there. I need it maybe in his eye. There you go. I want a nice magic wizard, kind of maybe that warmer color to emphasize these parts of the fabric. So I'm gonna just lay in those dark tones where I see them. Just really try to be unafraid of making those big marks. And then using water to connect those marks together. Touch, there we go. That's something that you cannot easily do in acrylic, for example, right? And touch. A couple more places where and even here. That's a nice line. Maybe I'll absorb it here. And water touch. Just flow in together. Maybe let just that flow right off. There you go. That's what I like about hot press. It's because hot press doesn't absorb water in the same way as cold press, because it's all the molecules are just kind of tightly wound together, and so you can get these really beautiful fluid marks when you use hot press. All right. So I'm gonna let that dry. I do want to get rid of some of these white marks here. That might be distracting. I'm gonna see if I can gently round this off. I do want these to remain highlighted. I don't want it to be too hard. There you go. Look at those beautiful fluidy marks. So I'm going to just let that dry. And then when we come back, we can really bring in some more, try and bring in a little bit more volume into his face. And I need a little bit more depth. Actually, before I do that, I think I need to build up a little bit more depth in some of these areas where I have the opportunity. We'll let that work while it's still wet. There we go. So ideally, it'd be nice to let this dry naturally, but I don't think we'll have time to do that. So we'll just let him, we'll just have to dry it. Dry it ourselves. 1 second. Okay. All right. So I've left some parts to dry a little bit more naturally, so we can just get on with the painting part of it. Just going to soak up this puddle while I'm here. All right, so there's some really interesting marks here, which I love playing with. I'm going to soak this up for now because it's just going to make my life easier later. We're going to help bring out some of the roundness and the volume, and so really deepening some of these values a smidge bit more to really get that punch in. So here we go again. It's really dark in here. Roundness of his nose. I'm going to bring in a little bit of the, just hinting more of his nostril. Needs to be darker here. You can see his, when the accuracy of the values start happening, then the life of the painting really starts coming out. Bring a bit more volume to his lips. A little bit, like I said, darker on it. I'm going to switch to purple. I'm not going to use that, so wait till I switch to the next color to do that part. Top of his lip. There you go. Just bring a little bit more volume here. Kind of, if you see a front-facing camera of me, you see me squinting at the. I'm squinting at the paper just to look at my values. You can see likeness start to develop when you get all the values, the value design more correct. Let's come over to the purple. The purple's somewhat cooler, and because of that, is else to bring out some of the depth around here as well. You could probably take your time a little bit more and be more careful than I am, but just want to kind of give you the rundown. Sometimes working fast, like I said, is really great for just learning how to like loosen up and try to be more expressive, a little bit more carefree. Oh, that's my puppy dog. Soften that top edge just a smidge. That's a little bit darker than I anticipated, but that's okay. Love these patterns that are happening here. Okay, fantastic. So we're nearly there. Lots of fireworks going off in the background, so my puppy dog is not pleased about that. Okay, fantastic. Now, the final thing I like to do is I'm going to get my eradicator brush and I'm just going to show you some lifting techniques that I like to do in order just to get those final details and highlights out. All right, so let me just give this a quick dry. Okay, great. So I'm mostly just dry the face off. I'm just going to get my little eradicator brush, and this is just a short hair synthetic brush, and love using this brush to just help me carve in a couple of details, especially around the eyes. So we're going to do that. It's like I said, it's a short haired synthetic. So right above the eyes, usually there's just a little bit of it just catches light so gently. So I'm just gonna gently lift some detail out. One thing I like about hot presses is that you can lift it pretty easily and nicely. From there. Inside of the eyes are typically darker, but there are parts of them that kind of catch the light, and I really enjoy finding those little bits just like right under here. So that adds this kind of slight complexity to it that I enjoy. Let's have a look. Here it's almost like the way the hairs are growing over his eyelids. Lifting out some subtle highlights there as well. I like lifting out with the Magic Wizard, because when you lift, it kind of creates these little yellow staining parts, which are really fun to use. When you lift it out, those little yellow parts kind of lift out nicely. Just generalizing shapes here. Maybe part of that eyebrow. Some little moments. I'm going to jump back down to a smaller brush to lift. Even maybe give emphasis to the creases at the end of his eyes there. Come down like this. Larger one. His beard. See if you can scratch in any of those little hairs on the suggest that little tooth that's on the bottom of his lip there. Soften that line. Oh no, that's the edge. And the other thing you can do, which I sometimes do, is just bring out any highlight that I think needed, that maybe got lost or tidy that edge that's dry too hard, more than I would have liked. So there you go. That is a couple of little techniques I'm happy to share with you about creating expressive faces. You can obviously take your time a little bit more than I have, but it was really fun showing you some of those techniques that I use for my portraits. Really, this is probably one of my favorite parts, just lightly lifting parts out just to create those forms. This probably accounts for why I'm a little bit of a carefree painter. But I really, I don't know what to say. I really enjoy it. So when it comes to watercolor, definitely do what you enjoy. There you go. So there's also kind of a quick sketch of this guy. I think maybe you can, where's his chin gone? Yeah. Just confuse that a little bit. That's better. Not. And there's a, yeah, there is a little expressive portrait of this tribesman in Rajasthan. Probably going to deepen his eyes a little. I've left them really blue, but I think I want to give them a little bit more soul and depth. It's a little unclear. And there you go. I hope that was interesting for you. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.
Okay, well, that seems to be it. So I think we're going to sign off here, and happy International Watercolor Day 2026. So hope to see you guys soon, maybe on our next Zoom meeting at the end of the month. So anyways, until then,
Thank you so much, Chris.
You're welcome, Alice.
I got a chance to take a few glimpses, and I have my own group running, painting together.
Ah,
Yes.
okay, nice.
Thank you for making this one a successful event.
Yeah, no
I'm
problem.
looking forward to connecting with you again.
You betcha. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Studio yesterday afternoon, for about 6 or 7 women,
Yeah.
they're all sitting in.
Yeah, I could go.
And the door burst open, this young man who's 28 years old, as it turned out,